Finances and budget. I know that in some homes, finances and budget are 4-letter words, but they're critically important. Several years ago, we went through the Financial Freedom Seminar by Jim Sammons. If you've never seen it, if you've ever watched the Duckers, they've mentioned it. It's the same thing they did, but they were first married and had no debt. We didn't make that wise choice, so we had to kind of dig ourselves out, and only by God's grace were we able to. So we did the Financial Freedom Seminar first. If you go to embassyinstitute.com or .org, I don't know which, one of them. If you go to there, you can watch it online. I think it's like $8 or $9 a month. Well worth it. There's a lot of other great... Okay. No. He saw a pink thing. So if you go to embassyinstitute.org, it's like $8 or $9 a month. Lots of great stuff on there. Anyway, the pineapple story is fantastic. You should watch that. Anyway, watch the Financial Freedom Seminar. It's going to change your perspective on money. It'll help you commit your ways to the Lord in ways that you don't understand. Now, it doesn't give you a lot of practical tips for actually getting out of debt. It just teaches you to commit your finances to the Lord. Well worth it nonetheless, but still, we had to add something else. I recommend Dave Ramsey or Crown Ministries. We did Dave Ramsey's, the Financial Peace University, and within 2 years, we were completely out of debt other than our home, other than one thing, but that's because they won't negotiate with us, but whatever. But God showed so much favor. When we committed our ways to Him, He had favor for us. How, I don't know, but He did. In the printouts that you had, I gave you a sample of what our budget looks like, how we work out our budget. I have an estimate every month, so I kind of have a game plan. My husband works commission only. We have no set income. So whatever he earns is what we pay bills with. And that can be very little or that can be very much depending on the month. So we have to plan for that. We've always lived commission only, so for us it's not that big of a deal. For other people who live on salary, I can see the panic. If you live on salary, Godspeed, you're lucky, but we don't. So we kind of have to budget with estimates, and then with we figure out what our actual is, and then we factor our savings. We have a goal for each of our savings per child, it's per listing of things. So I gave you a printout of our budget. I know you're going to see on there Energies. I know that's weird. It's actually Screamin' Energies. It's our energy drinks for the month. We budget it in. We order them wholesale from the company because it's our coffee. So that's on there. It's not actual house energy. It's person energy. But if you drink coffee, put that as your coffee budget. Everything else on there, you can kind of get an idea. If you have specific questions, ask me in the comments. I'll answer for you. But that's what our budget looks like every month. And so it's always good to have a goal. And I have a place on there on the bottom for unexpected expenses. We have unexpected expenses every month. We have different things that we do. I have our budget for gas. One of the ways that I save, excuse me, one of the ways that I budget for things like gas and groceries is we have Walmart Visa cards. They're not credit cards. They're reloadable, basically a reloadable debit card. And I have one for my husband's gas for his van every month because he has a pretty substantial commute. So it's a good gas budget every month. And I hate having it in the bank and he has to call and find out whether the money's in there or we have to transfer money in from savings. It's easier to just put it on this card, give it to him at the beginning of the month, and say, have fun, it'll be reloaded next month. Same thing with groceries. I put our grocery budget on there. When it's gone, it's gone. And so I budget off of that, and then I don't have to worry about the money that's in the bank. That makes my life easier. It's worth the $3 reloading fee. There's never any overdraft fees. That works for our family. That might work for your family. I know that it's kind of taken a burden because it's always been I hated my husband having to call me to ask me permission or whether or not he can go and get gas. He doesn't want to be involved in finances in pretty much any way other than pay the bills, thank you, honey. That's his choice, so I take care of that. So I hated the idea of him having to call me to ask permission. So this was something we came up with so that he doesn't have to call and ask permission. He just goes and gets gas when he needs it. And he budgets off of that and he knows what's on there. I don't have to pay attention to it. It works for both of us. If anything's left over on the end of the month, that's his money. He can go do whatever he wants to with. Usually it's spent at Harbor Freight. So that's one of the ways that we budget in our family. Hopefully that will help you. If you need to get out of debt, commit your ways to the Lord. That's the only way you're going to do it. It's only by His grace and His favor you're ever going to get there. If you don't have debt, don't get any. We are not credit card people. We don't have credit cards. We don't borrow. We don't want to borrow. I don't like borrowing. I always know that if I come to a point that I've borrowed, that I need to borrow, I've mismanaged something dramatically. God is always going to provide. You know, we have 6 children, and when I told the Lord that He can give us as many children as He wants to, as long as He provides for them, He's always been faithful on that. And I know that if we're coming up short at the end of a month, it's not because God didn't provide. It's because I went and spent money on something I shouldn't have. Every purchase comes with prayer. And if the purchase doesn't come with prayer, most likely I'm going to regret it. So remember that. And so then that's how you can handle your finances.